Poor
This
kid.
conference will now be recorded.
That way I don't forget. So how is everybody?
Good. Oh, look at that. The double thumbs up gets fireworks.
I like it. I like it. See,
Oh, you Mac people.
don't go there.
I think we might outnumber you right now.
That's fine.
He's used to it. So if you're new, welcome. The way it works here, we'll go through the slideshow here momentarily. If you have questions, raise a hand, speak up, whatever it takes. So again, welcome. Let's see if I can flip this to, that is the wrong button. And today we'll be covering the warranty and the spare parts that should be on hand, what should be kept on hand, what shouldn't be kept on hand. So again, as an introduction, a warranty covers specific parts and their timelines. The warranties do not cover damages caused by user error, weather, fire, or acts of the supernatural. When you purchase a used machine, there's a warranty transfer. That warranty transfer covers an hour of training, as well as the documentation or getting them into the system so that we can take care of them in the ticket system. Depending on which machine or machines that you have, certain spare parts you really should maintain. Quantities will be dictated by the number of machines that you have. If you have one machine, then you may only need one spare lens. If you got 3 machines, you might want 3, 4, however many spare lenses, just to give an example. And a lack of spare parts can lead to the unwanted machine downtime. That's not what any of us want in business. So, but the warranty coverage. Technically, the warranty is the factory warranty. It starts the day it leaves the factory. We look at the serial plate or the data manufacturer. So, we understand that there are lead times that can be extended. We also look at the delivery dates, history, etc. When parts may fall under warranty. All warranties cover manufacturer defects, not damages caused by object striking the unit, fire, theft, freezing, environmental exposure, exceeding the duty cycle, modifying or altering the unit, and or any other misuse that's not covered in that warranty. Literally, it is the manufacturer warranty. So each piece and part has a different timeline. So, further damage or failure caused by acts of God, such as floods, fires, and tornadoes, earthquakes, they're rare, but they're not covered under the manufacturer warranty or the Thunder Laser Warranty Plus program that we offer. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. So let's get into the warranty specific to the machines for the bolts. The machine itself has a 24-month warranty. The RF tube is covered for 12 months. The air pump is 12 months. Exhaust system, so the exhaust fan itself, is 12 months. Power supply is 12 months. And this power supply is for the tube specific. The rest of the power supplies that may run fall under the machine, but specifically, am I correct, 36 volt or 48 volt power supply for the tube is covered for 12 months. Your lens and mirrors have a 30-day after delivery. And then the Bolt Plus slash Pro is the coherent RF tube, and that's a 24-month warranty on that tube specific. And that only falls under the Plus and the Pro, which are a coherent RF tube. For the Novas, the machine itself has a 24-month. The tube is 12. The water chiller is a 12-month. Air pump again is 12. Exhaust fan 12 months. In the warranty, it talks about a water separator. I'm not quite sure on that one, but it's 12 months. The laser power supply itself, the LPSU, is a 12-month warranty. And again, the lenses and mirrors are covered for 30 days after delivery. But that's, if you drop it, that's not part of the warranty. If it shows up and it's cracked, that's part of that warranty. So again, inside of the machine, all the parts and whatnot that are not specifically to dates are covered under a 24-month warranty. For the pluses, you have a 24-month on the machine itself. The RF tube is 12 months. The air pump is 12 months. The exhaust fan is 12. We're seeing a repeatability here and redundancy in this. And the lens and mirrors are 30 days after delivery. We don't have to worry about a chiller with this model, so that's not even considered. The Aurora series. The machine itself is a 36-month. The source, whether it's any of the fiber sources or the UV source, is covered for 18 months, and the exhaust fan is 12. Now, let's hit the warranty transfer. This was started effective August 1st, 2024. It requires a transfer fee of $100 US for tech support, and the remaining warranty, it includes that hour training. You can choose not to use the hour training, but you're still going to pay the money for the warranty transfer. While Thunder Laser Global does not provide for warranty transfers, this is a specific thing to Thunder Laser USA clients. They have the ability to transfer what's remaining on that warranty, as well as the free lifetime remote support, as the first original and the second, or the first original owner to the second owner. That Lightburn key, that is out of our control. So that's specifically between the individual selling the laser and Lightburn itself. But you can contact Lightburn support for that assistance. We have nothing to do with Lightburn. Any 1-hour trainings that were sold or include to the original owners are non-transferable. So you don't get to have a second hour or that free one. You're getting one that's covered under that warranty transfer. Now the Warranty Plus coverage. There's 2 packages for it. One extends you for a year on specific components that are listed in this chart. And the other one is a 2-year extension. So you can look and see that, the factory covers 12 months on the machine. So you'll get 36 months Warranty Plus level 1, and then 48 months on level 2. And this breaks down. I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence by reading every line on this. But this is here, and this is in the article itself that talks about the Warranty Plus. Now, spare parts. I think this is pretty much what everybody wants to hear. What should we have? What should we not have? So for me, as we were putting this together and thinking about everybody else, so spare parts that it's a must-have. A spare focal lens for the Bolt and the Nova. Yeah, sometimes they're a little pricey, but better to have one sitting there and not use it than need it and not have it. Mirrors, recommendation is a set per laser. Now, I think for us, we've got 3 Novas, so we've got at least one spare set of mirrors, maybe 2, and then probably 3 or 4 sets or spare lenses. Now, this is specific to the Nova and the Bolt. I don't know that we see a lot of faults or a lot of breakage in the Aurora lenses. I figure it's a possibility, but that's not something that typically will burn out. They're easier to clean than the bolts of the Novas. So, these specific spare parts are applying to the bolts and the Novas. Your X and Y limit switch, in everybody's toolbox, you should have gotten at least one, which is nice. And then the small belt also is included in that toolbox. So if you use either of these, it's recommended to keep spares on hand. I don't know that the belts wear out as fast, but just you never know. Limit switches are easy to break, so keeping, I don't know, I think we keep a pack of 10 on hand just in case. So now we move into highly recommended. Again, limit switches. You say we personally keep a package of them because they are very easy to break when you're cleaning the machines. They're relatively inexpensive. So, and again, the Z-axis limit switch. I think in all the years we've had the machines, we've only had one go out once. But having a pack of them is a peace of mind, to be honest with you. And I think they only came in like 10 packs when I was trying to buy one or buy a set. But I think we have them as single individuals, correct?
Yeah, and I think the newer machines actually have an upper for the Z-axis, so an upper and a lower.
Okay.
Like the Bolt and the Nova Plus, and maybe even some of the newer Novas.
When we purchased ours, they were out of stock.
Yep.
So I had to find alternate sources.
Yep.
And a beam combiner. Keeping a spare one is highly recommended. They typically don't go bad, but the one time you need it is the one time it goes bad. For the bolts, I mentioned sorry, go ahead.
Question about the beam combiner. So like we have the 3 different Novas. Could we just get one spare beam combiner and it would work for the 3 different wattages that we have?
Yes.
Yeah, the only difference is the Nova 24. If you had that in your mix, it has a smaller one.
Okay.
So for the kids at the high school, it's not one that we can just bring in until a replacement shows up.
Okay.
Nope. They got a 20 millimeter, and you've got 25s in your machines.
The beam, and Chris, please help me out with this one. The window for the Bolt. That is essentially another beam combiner or the same material.
Yeah, it's called a Brewster lens. It's basically not really attempting to shape the beam, but it provides a dust protection. So it's another point that you clean and keep clean. And the new Nova Pluses have those, and I, of course, made and installed one on my Nova just because Mirror 1 can be a pain to get back to. So anything that can keep dust out of there is better.
Is that the same part or a different part that we carry?
It's a different part.
Okay.
We carry it for the Bolt and Odin, I believe, and it should be the same one. It's probably 20 or 25 millimeters and like 2 millimeters thick.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be that same yellow color. Looks like a lens, but it's not a lens. If you put that in your Nova head, you won't be happy.
I can understand that. So, excuse me. So we hit the Z limit switch. I skipped right over the laser power supply. This may not be for a brand new, something that a brand new user or a brand new machine needs to worry about keeping a spare one. But like we've got one that's, 3.5 years old or so. So keeping a spare one around, I think, is a good idea for that. These typically don't go bad sitting on a shelf. Now, here in another year or so, will I look at replacing for the 80 watt? Probably, or, keeping one just in case. And then a couple more years probably for the 100 watt. And so, yeah, this is, again, something it's recommended, especially when you start talking about an older machine, just in case there's a start to a failure, or unfortunately, eventually these things will burn out.
And that is specifically for the glass tubes. That laser power supply tends to be the most vulnerable.
It's big, it's bulky, and if it gets shaken around, it does not fare very well. So, good ideas. For good idea parts, for us, if you've got external air, keeping that 6 millimeter tubing around, I think is a good idea. Some of the quick disconnects for the tubing. And again, if you've got an air pump, or if you've got compressor, keeping the parts around for those if you're doing external air. Having a spare air pump. We don't really see them die too fast, per se, but having a spare one is always something if that's what you're running instead of running the external air for the compressor. A set of bearings, especially with older machines, is a good idea to have, and I think a set of bearings is 8 of them, which covers everything on the head and the trolley. They're trying
12.
to count off the top of my head.
12.
12 of them.
It depends. I mean, if you want the roller bearings and the cam, there's 2 for 6 cams, 2 stationary, basically idlers. So yeah, there's 12 total bearings.
Okay. A spare chiller pump could be a good idea, as well as a length of X and Y belt, whether it's 3 links or 1 full length, because it's sold. We sell it in just by the foot, correct? It's not already pre-cut or pre-measured. It's just sold by the foot.
Yeah, bulk.
So having a couple sections of that can be cut down for whichever belt, especially again with older machines. We don't see too much of new machines having these issues, but for older machines, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's one of those that it's wear over time, and it just creeps up on you. And we got an article that shows how worn the teeth can be. They end up being from rounded over molehills into alligator teeth, and that's not meshing with the gear set very well. So you can have runnability issues. The one in question had some ungodly amount of hours and distance on it, or distance traveled, but they will wear out. I mean, it's a belt on a metal surface. Something is going to wear. It's mechanical. There's no magic dust in there. It's just going to wear out. So be mindful of that. So, when we talk about Nova Series, the Nova Series has been out, 7 years, something like that. There's some older ones coming out there. So larger maintenance items will sneak up on you.
Yes. So what's not recommended is a new tube. The tubes will degrade over time when they're sitting on the shelf by themselves. So it's not a wise decision to purchase a tube and then just in case. Because each tube, what's the specific warranty again? 12 months, correct?
Yeah. Now, if you get to the point where you've noticed your power output is very depleted and you've done a test where the color is white to yellow, you're on your way out. So it's probably time to go ahead and buy one and swap out and be prepared for that one. But you don't want to have one sitting on the shelf for a year as it degasses and waste your own money.
Because 130 watt tube is a little
Well-
pricey just to sit on the shelf and hope yours dies before it dies to replace it. So
Yeah.
and a water chillers. I think over the times we've only had one chiller go out, and it was, for me, it was just as easy to replace it than it was to try to figure out what was wrong with it and fix it.
Yeah, and the best spare to all of this stuff is really just having a second machine that can run that you're not 100% loaded on. Having that backup machine.
Should have added that into the slides. Would that have been a must-have or a nicety?
No, well,
It's a nicety.
yeah, from overall business standpoint, having it where you're not running both of them at 100% and having as a full running spare is the quickest way of getting back up and running, right? Even if you have to order a tube, you got to wait for it to ship, and then you got to swap it in the line, and that's all downtime. Whereas you got a secondary machine, you stay chugging. So there's that side of it, and future planning.
Well, it's like having the three different wattages, the 130 watt, the 100 watt, and the 80 watt. If for whatever reason the 130 watt goes down, I can switch stuff over to the 100 watt. Not as large things because it's a 35 versus a 51, but I can tag team my machines as needed, which is nice.
Yep.
Exactly. So again, and the tube and a water chiller, I haven't really seen that. Usually, it's a pump. It's probably one of the things to go, the first thing to go. But having a spare chiller itself, I'm not sure is a really highly recommended one.
And I think our chiller that failed wasn't one of the ones like Thunder cells that comes with the machines. It was a one that we purchased for a different laser.
And you got the flow switch, which is now built into the chiller. We've seen those go out. If you think about it, the flow switch and the pump, the whole time you're running that chiller, both of those are spinning. So again, mechanical items will wear. And if you're not diligent about changing your water, you'll end up with some nasty growth. And we've seen people that have plugged their entire lines and gunked up the sensor. So.
So looking at everything, the warranties, again, they cover manufacturer defects, not user error or damage. The warranties must be transferred when buying a secondhand machine. That's a must for us. Spare parts are obviously, they're crucial to maintaining constant workflow and prevent any downtime, because that's the one thing that scares all of us is the amount of downtime. I can't make money if the laser isn't running. And if you don't take anything out of this entire slideshow and anything we put out today, order a spare lens. If you're not going to do any of it, just keep at least one spare lens. Unfortunately, it sounds horrible, but we understand that the cost of things and everything else, and you hope for the best. But a spare lens is like a must. Any questions on what we've covered?
Yes.
Once, going twice, what you got?
So on the water chiller, can you get certain parts for the water chiller? For example, where my power plugs in, the little
Yes.
computer plug port on the inside, the receptacle is loose. So what happens is mid cut on the laser, if that power plug moves even the slightest bit, the water chiller chokes out and shuts off, which shuts down the machine.
Yeah, we have power supplies and pumps and plug.
Sockets, switches,
Socket.
controller, the temperature sensors. Basically everything but like the compressor section and the heat exchanger.
Then I will fill out a support ticket and include
Yeah.
a photo. I had to do some unique work to make it temporarily hold over.
We even have the filter mesh, I believe, for those as well, which y'all are supposed to be cleaning, especially if you're in a
Of
dusty
course.
environment.
Everybody cleans those. I remember from 2 weeks ago, they're every other week or a month at minimum of a month every month cleaning in them.
You're assuming we can get to those things.
I wasn't going to go there. The chillers are kind of hidden and difficult to get to.
There's just two of them. One's okay.
I think we can go on and mark the Norris's machines non-serviceable.
No. I'm still under warranty. I'm still under warranty on one of them.
And anymore, I heard. I mean, it's recorded.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I can clearly see my chiller right there.
It
So
is
they have the
just
100-watt
killing.
tubes in available?
No.
I think we'll find some when we go down there.
And so, we try to maintain tube stock, and we stocked up for this winter. But in 1 month, over 20 tubes. That's just not normal for people cracking them. Basically, winter failures. So that depleted our stock. So the only thing we got left now is what we call a reserve for warranty, and that'll run out too.
Do we know when we might be getting some more 100-watt tubes in?
About a month, hopefully. If everything goes good at the port and we get our shipment, about a month.
It's
Okay,
floating
cool, thanks.
Yeah. Now, some customers have swapped over to the 80-watt tube because it's a direct drop in for the 100-watt because you got the right chiller and the right power supply. So some people have done that as well.
And they're usually tested closer to 90.
Yeah, but the same 100-watt tube is 110, 115, 120 watts output. They're both elevated above what we call them. But we'll still get you going and running if needed. Or you could throw a 130 watt in there with a new power supply and chiller. Be rocking and rolling there too.
See some modifications going with that one.
Depending upon the machine, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can already fit a 100-watt tube, it'll fit 130.
In a 35.
Yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Like
extension
Tube
is.
extension.
Yeah, it's oversized. It's meant
Yeah,
for
it is.
130.
It's like twice the size it needs to be.
Yeah.
Got the
No
wheels
guy.
turning. Got the wheels turning now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, there's been like 3 times we've used the size of the 50. Well, not counting the times I've cut down my own plywood.
Was Tommy
There's
slacking that day? What was he doing? Did he have demand flu?
Yeah.
No, he never gets the man flu.
Hmm.
The Army taught me that.
Yeah, you just keep going.
Any other questions on spare parts, warranties, or at this point, anything else? We'll open the floor up to any other questions.
I have 2 questions.
Right ahead. What can we do for
First-
you?
First one's pretty easy. You may have already covered it. I just kind of thought about it. I didn't check the manual or the FAQ yet, but the lens cleaning liquid. Once we run out of what was given to us with the machine, what do we use?
99% alcohol, or
Okay.
lens wipes, or anything along there.
Denatured alcohol, acetone will work.
Okay, cool. The second question is in reference to the Bolt 32. And thanks, Chris, for helping me out with some issues I had with banding. Been messing around with the frequencies. Is there coming from the default frequency, I guess if you don't make any changes within Lightburn at all, is it 20 kilohertz?
It should be 20 from the factory. Yes. Well, at least in Lightburn should be 20 kilohertz.
Yeah, it's
20,000.
grayed out 20 in Lightburn, but I don't know if that's was actually used or if there's something else by default that the laser uses. But if I deviate from 20, it can go from 1 to 200, I guess, in this one. Are there any issues with staying down at 1 or all the way up to 200? Is it going to degrade the laser faster?
No, the issue that you're going to see is you're not going to want to use those lower frequencies for engraving because it does modulate. So it'll almost look like a crosshatch pattern. It's really interesting, but it's designed to do exactly what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
So there should not be any wear on the
Okay.
tube at all.
Yeah, you need some earplugs when you start getting down below.
I say if you're not expecting it, that sound
That little
will
whine, yeah.
get you a little.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the first time we powered up the machine and started doing some stuff, it gets this really low hum sound, like a man machine. I go, holy cow, this thing is scary. I didn't realize it until like a week later that was just the air pump vibrating the machine. It wasn't actually the laser making that noise.
Right.
But okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I only use lower than the default of 20. Especially in MDF. A lot of MDF stuff seems to be a little bit more difficult to get through.
It's because of the glues.
And then, yeah. And then going up higher, I still need to do some more testing, but with the engraving going up higher. But I was able to get rid of all the banding I was having by increasing my LPI and or changing the frequencies.
Nice.
Thank you.
You got it. And I gave you the frequency breakdown, right? Kind of the ranges that we'd like to use it for
Yes,
cutting.
I think so. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's one of those things that a lot of people do not mess with and don't know. And I don't know where Nug is, but he's accused me of cheating on some of my engraves because I take advantage of that.
Well, we found it changing for the bolt. Upping it to 25 did better on white cups. Not much, but did a little bit better. Dropping
Right.
it down, well, that day that you had us running some tests on blue, altering the frequency to see if it would help clean that blue up and not leave that blue tinge residue or whatever it may be.
You gotta keep in mind that the pro machines, or what was considered the pro machines back in the day, the Epilogues and the Trotex, have been running this and using frequency for quite a long time. So it's something new because the prices come down so much on these tubes. But these are tricks of the trade, kind of, that we're just now really diving into.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Have there been any updates about the Plus series getting stronger tubes?
Not yet. Myers? I haven't heard anything.
I mean, let me plead the fifth for a second.
For for 36 minutes?
No, I was going to
gotta
contact
think.
somebody.
Well, somebody made a post about Ignite, and they kind of hinted at a Nova Pro. We know that somewhere between 60 and 120 RFs are likely to hit the market at some point. But it may be a bit. That technology and the cost, everything's got to fit correctly,
before we start hitting awkward silence, I'll ask again. Other questions, or it doesn't have to be on this subject.
Any
you,
sub.
you got, yeah, any subject.
Okay, I'll go again.
That's what we're here for.
When doing selective defocusing, right? You have a job that's doing some engraving, some cutting, different types of engraving, and you might want to do some defocusing. I've been using the defocus within various layers in Lightburn to do that. First time I did, I was a little concerned that each different layer I went to was just going to incrementally defocus more for each other. So I had my hand on the emergency stop in case it's going to drive itself. So I primarily do a defocus, not an infocus. But after that, you go to a cut layer, it'll go back to focus. Have you ran into any scenarios doing stuff like that where you're at risk of crashing?
Not really. Once you have it down and understand, which value moves it which way, and you don't get aggressive with it, you're pretty good. It doesn't take much to defocus it. Say you're doing stitching pattern, like I program in on my stitching layer a defocus, and I don't remember the amount. It's probably like, I don't know, point or 1.8 or something like that, just to make that stitching look a little thicker on hat patches. No issues whatsoever. I love the fact that as soon as it's done with the layer, it returns and then it'll start the cut layer. So yeah, as long as you're comfortable and you understand which way you're going, I don't recommend people that don't understand it. Like, definitely, if you are going to test it, have that hand on that button for sure.
Yeah. And I haven't checked yet to see if there is any backlash in the Z. So when it comes back to out of defocus to zero focus, should I account for backlash? Should I measure it and just see what it is, or is it going to be right on?
It should be fairly right on. I haven't seen an issue where it's off.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking for the finest cut for some of these hat patches, with some intricate detail on some of them, and I'm getting my normal curve, so I haven't seen it yet. Is it possible? I guess, but the Z is programmed to move very slowly, so you're going to be limited to any errors.
There's a couple of score marks I do on a couple of various things that I want to be wide, is instead of engraving it. How far have you defocused to, and say in a 2.5 inch lens?
There's going to be a depth of field, so you're going to run out of useful energy.
Yep.
The other issue that you're going to run into is it's going to flame. Now it's like a lighter almost.
Yeah.
So
the edges seem to get a little fuzzy too.
Yeah, you'll definitely be fuzzy. So yeah, I would probably do some testing, and you could do that just with pulse testing as well. Just kind of move the Z down, do a pulse, and see what's acceptable. Obviously your graphics are going to lose resolution because because now we're working with a Sharpie as opposed to a number 2 pencil.
Yep, sure. All right, last one, I promise.
No, that's great. Keep on going. That makes good content.
For shutting down the machine, I couldn't really find any process. I've just been e-stopping it, wait till I hear the fans stop spinning, then power it off.
You don't have to e-stop it. Just turn it off.
Yeah, just turn it off. Just turn that key. It's all right.
Sometimes I make sure, and I put the head in the home location in that back corner, so that maybe I set something on the bed or whatever, and I don't have any head crashes when I go to turn it back on.
Yeah, I put the Z table down a little bit. I moved the head over, not all the way, because I want to be able to have some travel to the limit switches, and I set origin at that point. So no unexpected moves on power up.
Yeah, I just assume when I power mine up, wherever the head's located is where I had the origin for the most part. But yeah, I mean, taking extra steps to ensure you don't damage your nice machine is great.
Mhm.
And Lois does it, puts it by the home location because she's impatient and she wants it to start up in the morning as quick as possible.
Sometimes. Hey, that's a long way to go on the 51.
That is, it's very true.
It's in the opposite corner. That takes a long time.
That's right. Just
Well,
sitting there waiting, watching.
Matter.
and because the 80 watt does tumblers, we've got it the speed turned down to help prevent from a head crash. So, wow, it's painfully slow to watch it turn on.
I think I only have that done when I have the machine
No,
settings for the
no.
rotary. Oh.
Well, because the rotary's always in there, it's always doing
Yeah, the
that.
rotary
It's
kind of lives in there, so
it's painfully slow to watch it initiate.
sometimes.
How good is it in keeping position if I do the pause button, or if I accidentally have it in slow mode and I do a frame and I want to cancel it? Is it going to lose steps and be out of position, or is it going to retain position pretty well?
Myers?
Yeah, I mean, both of those are controlled moves, so it should stay in position very well. It's when you have a power outage or an e-stop.
I've never had anything get weird if I have to hit pause for whatever reason. It just picks right back up where it should. I think we've had the power blip thing before, and the machine was able to, when the power came back on, the machine was able to pick right back up.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And on my, I just looked to see where I'm at on my stitch layer. I'm at 0.18 of an inch.
You and your inches.
On the offset, it seems to run in inches for some reason. I don't know why.
That's crazy.
1.8.
You're drawing in inches.
Yeah.
Oh, 4.57.
Yeah, even if I change to millimeter, I'll have to change everything to millimeter to find out.
It's good for you.
Well, I run it for everything else.
I remember a day when everything was inches.
That didn't last that long.
Well, I'm talking about Chris.
Oh
All
yeah.
his settings and everything was inches.
Yep.
And then I got picked on, and I was very upset, and I sat in the corner and shook. 4.57, negative 4.57 is the move in millimeter.
And the negative should take it down, and the positive should bring it up.
No, it actually, that
Was it the opposite?
it raises it up. Yeah, further
Still
away to diffuse.
Focusing, it's just which direction you're going.
What is the name of the setting that draws the red line on the galvos between objects in the trace mode?
What is
Oh,
it?
is it?
Try that again, George.
You're on a galvo.
Yep.
Originally, my UV, which is draw, if I had three objects on the screen, a triangle, a square, and a circle, it would draw all three, no problem. Since I bought the fiber, something changed. A setting got changed. I don't know what.
It's either you're contour bound or you have, when you're in the framing window, you should have three choices to pick from, and each of them will change.
Yes. If it used to be, I would see just the circle, just the triangle, just the square. Now there's a line connecting the circle to the triangle, another line connecting the triangle to the square, and another line connecting the square back to the circle.
Basically, the red dot's not turning off on the jumps.
How do you turn that off?
Blink at the right time.
I knew that was coming.
Let me look. That's going to be a light red
close
thing.
your eyes.
Yeah.
Enable blanking?
I don't think you can turn that off.
It's under ports and laser settings. I think it's under red dot, and I think it's entitled enable blanking, but I couldn't find it in
Do
any of the
you?
software for Lightburn.
Well, do you have it also set where the red dot's always on under your
No,
settings?
that's off.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, so you don't use it for center positioning?
I do.
Then it should be on. It's probably on then.
I use it for letting me know if my lens cover is on or off.
That's,
That helps too.
It does tremendously.
Yes. Yeah, I think I don't remember what it was the other day. I was freaking out about something, and I'm like, okay, why is this not? Okay, stop. You stop. Okay, that's right. Lens cover. Dang.
It smells like birthday candle. I'll say that. Whenever you burn one.
Let me check and see if that did it.
yeah, I don't see anything in there, George.
I don't know. I've just never paid attention or cared enough because it's, 9 times out of 10, I'm framing the bound. Was it the bounds? Is that what the bottom one is, or is that contour? I'm framing the outside edge of something, get it lined up.
It could be individual shapes, or I don't have anything on, so.
Yep, that was the setting. I just don't want to go mucking with something and screwing things up. Because I've learned to ask before I do something stupid.
Yeah, and so you figured it out?
I think that's what it is, yeah. I think you need to have, under the wrench icon, there is ports and laser settings. The third one down is red dot. Underneath is a second switch. It says enable blanking. And I think that blanks the space between the objects. The reason why I ask is a lot of times I'll have customers here and I'll frame it out with the exact text they want on their whatever the object is. And by not seeing the lines connected, it makes it a lot easier for them to read it.
I don't have the option to do that.
Are you on Lightburn 1707?
Well, I mean, I have it there, but it's blanked out. It's grayed, so I don't have that option. At least not on.
On your UV?
Yeah, my UV. I'm wondering if it is turned off because I have that on. Nope.
Are you connected? Your machine's light are powered off. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll select a different machine and see. Interesting.
You tried switching to Windows?
I knew it was only a matter of time.
Right?
You never disappoint, Mr. Myers.
That's
You're
exactly.
actually you're in the minority in this room as the only
I am.
Windows user.
That's true. I stand alone probably.
I can stay alone.
Unless there's someone else out there using a
Oh, hold
PC
on a minute.
computer.
Hold on a minute. Hey, look. See, I have one.
Is that your coaster?
He
Yes.
pulled it out from under the door as a doorstop.
His lunch tray?
Yeah. Just for the CNC.
Yeah, it only runs Vectrex.
So,
I mean, it could run your Lightburn.
No.
So eventually, I will go through and install the drivers and put Lightburn on that.
Why would you do such a thing?
I use Lightburn on the Windows computers at the high school, and it's not fun.
How about that?
What drawer was that in?
Oh, one of the 500 I have.
All right, come on. Anybody else on Team Mac or Team Windows?
Back here.
All right. Got another.
We're just adding up.
5 to 1.
All of us pretentious Mac users.
Yeah.
What are we volunteering for?
Team Mac or Team Windows?
Oh, definitely Windows.
All right, my man.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah. And Android cell phones and everything.
Oh.
Oh.
Sounds like a power user.
Sounds like me in regards.
I'm just simple. I like simple. I miss the flip phones at time.
I mean,
I miss Nextel. That's what I miss.
Windows may be
I
like
used to
driving
work
stick
there.
shift. You
I
know,
was a
I can
engineer
do that.
for Nextel for 10 years.
Really,
Yeah.
it was a very upsetting day when I lost that.
but
It was
let's
an
be honest,
upsetting
if you
day
can
when I
drive
got laid
stick
off.
shift, you're a better driver.
He can drive big fire trucks stick shift.
Split axles, double clutch. Good old days.
I can't.
Some people can barely drive automatics.
I tried to learn stick. It didn't work.
What else we got? We got 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
It-
Question.
How about switching back and forth between the two galvos again? That seems to be my new favorite thing to decipher.
You talking about what we talked about the other day with your how they get named in Lightburn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I told you it's doable. You gotta pay attention and have the patience to want it.
And
I can tell you
inside
what I
that-
do, George.
What?
I can tell you exactly what I do.
Yeah, 2 different.
Still a
computers,
recorded
right?
line. Be careful. Be careful.
I use one machine at a time.
Yeah, earlier, wasn't it earlier today they were both on, or was it yesterday?
Well, when one was on, I went and I turned the other one off.
But yeah, he doesn't try and run them both at the same time.
No,
I
yeah.
don't even
I believe
bother
you
with
need
it.
to quit Lightburn in between switching machines as well.
Or just hook a laptop up to one of the machines.
Let me pull $2,000 out of my backside.
With Windows,
just to get it
with
on.
Windows,
I
it'd
was
be
waiting for that with
$100.
Windows at $100 for that little.
It is. Yeah, that's all I paid for my little brick PC. $115 shipped.
What was the Mac Mini? That wasn't that too
I
bad.
think it's like 600.
Yeah, 5 to 7, depending on which one you get.
The
That's
source
all I do,
inside-
George. Is I pick one machine, and then that's the one I'm using.
The source inside the Aurora Light that's not a JPT. Is it a Racus?
It's Hans. It's a Hans source, and looking at it and messing around with settings, I think it's a clone of a JPT.
So I should have JPT selected as fiber type.
No,
Well,
China
you know,
likes
four
that
choices.
IPG, the universal one.
The IPG YLP or YLPN.
YLP, the short one. M would be the MOPA.
Got it.
Seems to be a pretty good source so far.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I
Works
get
great.
really, really dark blacks on stainless and then on aluminum with that.
You know what's funny is since I've recalibrated all of my lenses, so I have 2 for the UV and 1 for the fiber, the lens that gives me the whitest white is the 254 on the UV.
It's softer.
George, you got a light, right?
Aurora Light?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you need one of these.
What's that?
True.
Is that what that thing's gonna look like? I was
Something
wondering.
like that.
It's
Um,
this.
It's that, but with an extra boost on it, so you can pick which height level you want.
Yeah, it's got
It's gonna be nicer.
a non-marring tip, so no metal touching your material. Adjustable with the jack bolt, so that it won't slip, and then a double. I'm going to change that hardware out. A double screw in to hold that rod in. So
You know, make the T a little longer across the top to fit
I could.
underneath of the lens.
What do you mean?
So the focal sticks that you can cut out of acrylic have a long, so that you
Oh,
just slide them up underneath of the framework for the lens.
oh,
These
this
these
hangs
are
on the light.
the hangs. There's 2 thumb screws on the light that
Yep.
hangs on.
But what about the others?
He means this.
On
We
my
don't-
keys, I them out of acrylic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
other
do,
ones. This is for the light. Yeah,
Exactly. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna make them magnetic, Myers, so that they?
it can be. Yes,
I would do
I
that,
have
so
the
they attach to
magnets.
the side.
Oop. Yeah, keep lots of magnets.
Yeah.
And then it's got a tip on it that's removable. And if you want to do like a +1 millimeter, you swap a different tip on, and boom, it's 1 millimeter longer. So now you're defocused a millimeter.
That's nice.
Why,
Yeah,
gee, Chris, where
the
could I
tip.
find such a nice focusing tool?
It's not out yet, but it's just fresh off the printer this week.
So it will be available on Etsy.
Maybe not. Some things I don't let the public have.
You don't want the copycat.
Well, thanks for telling us.
Yeah.
Uh,
Way to
it,
go.
Thanks for
it will
teasing
show
us.
up somewhere. It will show up somewhere.
You.
That's cool. I like it. And if the cat gets out of line,
See, don't tempt me. The demon spawn there, has been a nightmare in the mornings.
yeah, our new cat's been a pain.
You know she's still on here, right? Your wife can hear you still.
Yes, I know.
We're 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the cat, right?
Yes. Yes, me and the cat.
That's why we typically aren't allowed out in public. Well, as we start to wrap this up, any last minute questions? Anything?
Hey, I was gonna say we got, a couple of minutes left. I know lots of people are asking questions about Ignite over on Facebook. Does
Yeah.
anybody want to talk about that?
Not a lot to tell yet. We don't have the speaker lineup. I was just talking to Rob today. So it looks like Rob will be coming. Obviously, I'll be doing the photos. I don't know. Maybe, yes, it's going to be in Quitman, Texas again. We're not traveling. I think we can house enough people, and we have machines there. So try to make it affordable without having to rent out a place and move all the machines. And it's a huge, bustling town, Quitman, Texas.
That is the only thing there is that little barbecue spot at the end of the street. That is it.
Yeah, the only thing there is
Dust.
Thunder Laser and Stitch in Heaven. That's it.
Literally.
Well, maybe one day I'll get there.
Just
One day
flying
in
out, Tommy.
August.
Don't you like planes?
No, I don't fly. Been in enough aircraft. I'm good.
Fair enough.
It's 5 o'clock.
I guess I can go ahead and